Hi there, welcome to Snow Sense and Ride Ready, brought to you by Snowboard Guru, and I am Tara Winter Hayes. Now we're going to be talking about how to look after your ski boots and snowboard boots all year round, not just in the winter, how to store in the summer, just generally looking after your boots, because you've spent a lot of money on those boots, so you want to keep sure they're okay. And so some nasty things can go wrong if you don't look after them, and you'll see them a bit later. But the main thing that most people forget to do at the end of the season or end of their holiday and they're not going again is take them out of the bag. Your bag is padded. This snowball bag, they're padded. Ski bags, ski boot bags are padded. They're all padded. They never get 100% dry because that padding keeps the moisture. So if you keep them in the bag, it's like keeping it in a little sauna. I'm just going to move my mug out of the way. The sauna throughout the summer months. Or even in the winter, mirroring where you store them in your house. That's another huge factor where people store them wrong all the time. So I bet you that when you take out your snowball boots out the bag, they look a bit like this. Oh, like that, yeah, they're soaking wet probably. Mine are not, but this is just an example. Soaking wet. Or your ski boots, yeah, ski boots. You get them out of the bag and they're like that, all undone, yeah. That's your ski boots and your snowball boots. Get them out of the bag. Ditch the bag. Get the bag dried somewhere else. Ditch your snowball bag or your ski bag, whatever you keep them in. Ditch them. Let them dry separately and take the boots out. Now, that is really important. That's probably one of the most important things. But this other thing I'm going to show you is really important, is a lot of people don't do, is they forget to take the outer and the inner out. Because to be honest, ski boots and snowboard boots, at the end of the day, okay, one's a plastic hard boot, hard to walk around, going up and down steps is a nightmare. Snowboard boots are easy to walk around in, but you're not so good on the flats when you're stuck to a snowboard. Both people have a problem walking or moving on flat sections or walking up and down steps, as you do in ski boots. So the main thing to do is when you take them out the bag, ditch the bag, dried it, brilliant, that is fantastic. Open up your boot. So this is a boa, so we're going to open it up, yeah, and we're going to take the liner out. It's a bit of a tricky one, but you can take the liner out. But the main thing is, if you can, and this one has, take the footbed out first. Now this one's got a fancy footbed, so it's got a decent arch support. We'll talk about footbeds later, so take that out. It will make it a little bit more pliable to get this out. It is not an easy job, even in a snowball boot. I'm just going to open up this boa a bit more. Clip it in so it's open. Just going to get this out of the way with my hand. And if you keep your hand, there's the two bits. I'm putting my hand in between the two bits and I'm going to pull that out. So take it apart. There's your outer, there's your inner, and your footbed. Let them dry. You're not in a rush. You've come back. Yeah, let them dry. Ski boots are a little bit harder to get them out. It has taken me a long time to learn how to do this, but you will get there. So undo the clips. If you've got these clips that flip back, yeah, if you can, turn them. If you can't, it makes it a little bit harder. And this one is a bit of a more of a yank. I'll just move these out of the way. So That's the snowboarders. And skiers, just, there you go. This was quite easy. Did it have a fancy footbed in it? It did have a footbed in it as well. There you go. So take that out. Not a fancy footbed, but it has a footbed. All your boots will have a footbed, even if it's a rubbish one like that. So it's not really nice smelling. So take them out and let them dry. It is so important to keep them nice and dry. Now the next segment I'm going to show you, but before I show you the next segment and why it's so important after they're dry, is to put them back and do them up. And I'm going to explain that in the next segment, sorry. And before we go to that, I'm going to show you, have a little look at the Hall of Shame. Okay, so you've now seen some photos of skis and snowboard boots when they have just been left. So before I explain why that was so horrific for me to see, but in time you will learn the reason why it is a little bit of a horror show. So before you get them done up, never to put, so they're all dried out, they left them out for a couple of days somewhere nice, not near a radiator. Radiator can make the plastic brittle, it can make anything brittle, it can make the glue lose its stick, so you start little brown bits. So then the sole comes away from snowboard boots, as I said, and radiator. Just keep them in a nice dry area to dry. Yeah, no heaters or anything like that. So we're just going to put the footbed, not the footbed back first, sorry. So this is where it's a little bit harder on the ski boots actually to get it back in. So I'm going to turn it around and go put my hand actually in the inner, pinch this heel, put all my weight down. It is tricky putting it, and then I'm going to just push my hand there. That's that. Then put the footbed back in. I'll just put my hand round the inside, so I'm literally, my hand's like that to guide it in. That's that. And then do up the boot. So make sure the tongue's not twisted, so it's not like that. You see some of the photos, it's a bit hard to see with the black, but not twisted. And then we're going to do the boot up. Don't do it mega tight, but do the boot up. So when you're not using them, it's even, not just at the end of the season, every day before, when you get off the mountain and you put your skis and boards wherever you store them, you're taking your boots off, skiers, you'll be like, ah, oh, thank God. Actually, sometimes some snowboard boots can be quite stiff these days, so it's still a bit of that moment. Don't go, oh, that's brilliant, I'm going to go to the bar now and get smashed. No, you're going to do your boots up. So you do your boots up, especially skiers, if you're keeping them in a boot room, do them up, because what happens, some people are very careless in the boot room because maybe they've had a couple of sherbets before going to store, so they've actually already gone to the bar in their ski boots and they're just on their way back to the hotel where the boot room is. So make sure they're done up, because they're not done up and they've left, even with the buckles like that, with the white background, not done up like that, if they're left like that and then someone careless knocks them off the shelf, it can actually ratchet this off. This is a nightmare for any ski shop to mend because they're pop riveted. So if you next morning you come down and you'll find that's been ripped off, you're off to the hire shop to get some hire boots. So always do them up to keep their shape as well. And I'll explain that a little bit more. So we're just putting them back together. So now the snowboard boot, footbed last, inner boot. I'm just going to do the inner boot up. We've got the internal lacing out. Pop the excess in that. Hand there, boot, and pinch it round. A lot easier putting it back. Then I'll undo the boa again so it slides back. Just got to get that footbed in. So I've just got to undo it slightly. Get that footbed back in again. It's a little bit harder to bend because this is a more custom footbed. I'm just going to get this in. As I said, it's not an easy job, but it's a really important job. So at the end of the day, you don't need to take them apart at the end of the day. That's only at the end of the season, or you're not going again, is to take them apart and make sure they're dried. You're not going to do that every day in resort, but the one thing you must do at end of day in resort is do the boots up. Not just skiers, about the clips, because clips, as I explained, nightmare to replace in resort. But even as a snowboarder, I do my boots up at the end of the day. Yeah, to keep their shape. And you're going to see now in these photos, I'm going to explain why that's important. Just open that up, click that back in. And so, snowboard boots done up. I'll first talk about ski boots and why it's important to do them up at the end of the season as well, as you saw in those photos. So as you can see in this photo here, the boot is blown open. So where I mean by blown open, this section is all open, yeah? So it makes it harder to do up because the plastic is being basically frozen, and in the summer months open. So as you can see here, that's really important to do it up so it's always nice shape, because if it's not a nice shape around here, it's going to be uncomfortable to ski in, yeah, and that is not good. Okay, and the other thing is I'm going to show you in this photo coming up next is why it's important to store your ski boots in a very hot, not in sunlight, because as you can see here, the boot has actually cracked while being used. So really important to look after your ski boots. Okay, snowboard boots. Snowboarders, as you can see in this image just coming up now, is why you need to, again, the same reason as the skiers. You can see it's all blown out, the tongue's twisted, everything's all undone, lacings, everything. Again, so that is not going to keep its shape around here. So it's not going to hold. It is so important. And the other thing, if you've even got boas, they can get broken as well. So just make sure it's all done up. It'll keep its shape, and it's so important because it will make it a much more comfortable ride for you snowboarders and you skiers. We all have to live on the mountain together, and it's really important. So at the end of the day, of your skiing or riding day, do up your boots, keep the shape. Skiers, make sure your buckles are done up because of the buckle breakage. But even snowboard boots, you know, some people have actually had these smashed because they've literally, someone's come back into the boot room, knocked them over, don't care damn, because they've probably got hired stuff and they couldn't be bothered to take it back to the hire because their hotel was nearer. We know who they are. So do them up, keeps their shape, and at the end of the season, as you've just seen, make sure they're completely dried out. And next segment I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you some pictures of a product that I'm a big fan of. Have a check it out and I'll explain about that next. Okay, you've just seen a little bit on nick wax. Now this is really for mainly the snowboarders. Yes, nick wax. So at the end of the season, if your snowboard boots were a bit leaky and you were having a few problems, I recommend getting nick wax them so they're ready for next season. Do not leave it again to the last minute, because most people leave all their kit repairs, ski repairs, snowboard repairs, all the repairs to the last minute. This is the time, the summer, when technicians are not busy, but these are little jobs you can do before storing them away for the summer months. The other thing is, so that's the nick wax. The other thing is, it's brilliant to store them with gel packs. Now, when you buy things online, sometimes clothing will come with little gel packs. Now, what I've got a whole load of them here, and what we do is we collect them and keep them in a little box. Yeah, this is an old margarine box, and keep them in there. So what you could do, put holes in that, and wherever you store your kit throughout the summer, so this is all your kit, or put gel packs in with the kits. You could do rice bags in the kit, so that's a bonus tip I'll show you later on another segment about storage. But yeah, gel packs, great thing. And a large percentage of these go into the rubbish, and because they're little plastic beads in there, they go into the water system. So you could be actually saving the planet by keeping these and keeping your stuff dry from moisture, because the other thing is you don't want mold, and mold will break down moisture, everything will break down the padding of the inner boot. So that's really important. The other thing I mentioned about footbeds. Here's a little segment on the footbeds coming up next. Okay, so that thing about footbeds, as you can see, footbeds are really important, and as you saw in the ski boots, those really bad footbeds. So this is another time that you could go to your local shop. It doesn't have to be a ski or snowboard shop. Any outdoor shop will have footbeds. We do Reminder Sole at here in our workshop. So Reminder Sole, anyone knows Travis Rice, he uses these. Any in the skateboarding world, they use these. I use these actually in my general trainers, so you can take them out, use them in anywhere else. That is really good. The other point is that I wanted you to see today is you've got an opportunity to win our booklet. The booklet is the ultimate storage tips for skiers and snowboarders, as you can see here. So basically there will be a link on that. I hope you've learned some lessons, and I think discovering more tips, and we'll have loads more segments on basically tech, looking after your kit, well-being, exercises, anything out there. If you've got any questions, just poke us. Take care. This is This is Snowboard Guru. I'm Tara Winter-Hayes, and you have now been to the Snow Segments rides. And let's just go. Let's keep it safe for next season. Take care.